So we're out at Muriwai again, and having some fun and games because I'm trying to set up this rod and reel, and the other rod was already in water. Keeps on getting tugged at, so nothing that seems to be hooked up. In fact, I think it's actually half the rip and surf just pulling the sinker about. Anyway, it's all good. So, new rod we're just setting up to go on this Veritas. Essentially, you've probably heard me talk about it before, but I do love my my bait runners, and this is the bait runner big, essentially. And the long cast. So I kind of figured what I'll do is I'll take the pen spin caster and put it on the 12 foot and put this on the big rod. So I saw something very interesting recently online regarding tying an FG, and that's way of getting tension. I'm sorry I've forgotten the guy's name. I'll link to this video. I'm still trying to figure it out, but certainly from the point of view of getting the tension sorted out so you can tie an FG sort of on the fly, it's looking very promising. I'm just trying to get my fingers to behave into regards holding the shock leader and the braid, but when it works particularly well, is what I would suggest. So more sense in holding it in your teeth or any of those things, but it's just getting used to this technique, which, you know, he makes it look easy, I make it look insanely hard probably. I'm basically braiding this FG onto it, and guys give me a lot of suggestions as to what I should be tying the shock leader onto the braid with. I like an FG. I'm probably just going to at some point have a try with them. And this is a great thing with fishing. There's always something else to try, isn't there? One time you do need to use your teeth here. Just tying that guy off. So you got that. It doesn't help, I tried to slice my finger in half recently with a screwdriver. We're trying to get a muzzle brake off a gun. It's not the best of moments, to be fair. Wind it up so I don't chop my hands to bits, because I prefer not to do that. Tight! There we go. FG. Now I probably won't run the whole length of this on here, because 15 meters. It's quite a long shock leader and gives me a couple of meters at full length. So I'm going to take 2 meters back off there. Go from there. Again, I'm not actually an expert in this by any means, but I'm just running off what I have read and the guys I've been following. So guys like Jason, awesome resource. If you're not following him and you follow me, and you're not following him, follow him, because don't listen to what I'm saying, go listen to what he says. But a lot of guys, Hey Skipper over in States has been really good. Yeah, just playing with some of these Gemini components, just nice pulleys and nice hook releases. I'm well aware I'm probably about to send one sailing off into the ocean with some dodgy knot tying, but hey, it's alright, it's part and parcel. My big concern is probably just throwing stuff into the ocean. I prefer not to be throwing tackle into the ocean. That's what I'm trying not to do. It's not like practicing with a rifle while you're shooting. You can just shoot targets and, you know, you're just going to a bank. Unfortunately, this stuff stays in the water. It's like rifles and reloading. You know, there's always something new to try or something else to have a faff around with, and for me that's part of a charm for the appeal of fishing. As much as the fishing itself, it's just playing with different bits and pieces and trying to outwit fish. Though I have no doubt sometimes they're just laughing at what we do. Especially, and I've got no doubt some of the old fellas are laughing at what we do. Old man would probably have been the, you know, Small hook, strong line, throw it in the water. See if we can't cast this into the sea. You know, by any standard, really, it's been a pretty shit year for me. Professionally, financially, definitely. Relationship-wise, first year, single after 13. You know, dealing with split custody. Shit, might have a bite on though. But you know, then you head out some place like this. Is it a crit shot for you just yet? No, nearly. It's a sand spike shot. And you realise life ain't that bad. Life ain't that bad. Well, I scored myself a teeny tiny little crab, which is hardly target species, but hey, you know, foul hooked the thing on a jig. But yeah, there's a lot of rip out here today, a lot of current pulling these things around. Keep thinking it's fish, but it's not really, it's just the waves and lines getting pulled out. So it's giving the bait runners a little bit of a challenge. That's all good. So I had a birthday recently, and my brother and family awesomely got me a box full of fairly random Japanese snacks, which included, well, I don't know, Ocean Bomb Future Trucks. Now, I'm at the ocean. It's time to have the Ocean Bomb. Ingredients: carbonated water, fructose sugar, flavor, acidity regulator. I'm gonna guess it's sweet. It's like a bomb of ocean. It's great. What is it? White grape flavor. Yep, it's sparkling white grape. Of all the drinks I've had, this is definitely one. Thank you, Paul, crew. So, something I've been thinking about recently is something called rites of passage. And basically the notion is it's that symbolic step from being a child, being a kid, or a teenager, to being a man, in the case of a male, right? New Zealand, you know, the closest thing I suppose we had in modern European culture, European being Kiwi European or Palangi or however you'd like to put it, was the 21st, which basically meant when you hit the age of 21, you had a big party, got insanely drunk, and then drank a yard glass worth of alcohol. So it was like the symbolism of becoming a man was your ability to hold your liquor. Well, no one holds a liter, no one holds a yard glass. You've got to throw up at some point. It's physically, you know, pretty challenging to just hold that much liquid in a human stomach, let alone alcohol. You know, so really, when it comes down to it, to become a man, you had to borderline give yourself alcohol poisoning. Now, that's a weird ritual. I never did it. I had no inclination. But what it did mean is that there was no, maybe there isn't, but there was no definitive point from stopping being a boy or a teenager and going, right, now I am a man, I am a grown-up. And I know it's not a particular time or date or age or anything anyway, but a lot of cultures throughout the world will actually have some kind of acknowledgement ceremony, ritual. You know, it doesn't have to be face paint and bongo drums in the jungle. That's not what we're talking about, but just a stage where it's acknowledged that you're into the next step of your life. And I don't know, so I wonder now, I still struggle sometimes with this notion of when do you become a man. And maybe it's partly no one ever kind of, no men above me, fathers or stuff like that said, okay, you're a man, go for it now. I don't know. obviously not hooning down there at the same time, but I do have to wonder the amount of damage that happens to a person if you roll a car on the beach with 3 people up above the bars designed to stop people getting killed and crushed. I don't know. Look, it may never happen, but I do risk management. It's what's in my core. I look at it and go, there's the risk of pretty severe injury, if not fatality, right there. Quad bikes, biggest killer in the agricultural or farming community for many, many years. I'm sure it'll never happen to me though. Never happen. But yeah, so I'm not saying it's something that needs to happen. I don't know. If anyone's ever gone through something, you know, I mean, Pacific Island cultures, I'm interested in. Maori cultures, traditionally, if you're around, you know, you've got family around you who are following that, is there a stepping stone? Is there an acknowledgement of the, you know, the stages between being a kid and being a grown-up? Did it make any difference? Do you really care at all? Am I waffling on the beach? Yes, I am, but that's kind of the point. You know? I can stand here and look at the rods and talk about national sports teams, I suppose, but there's other things I prefer to think about. Well, another fairly uneventful afternoon fishing out on Muriwai, but that's alright. I'm learning as I go every single time, you know, how, what, where. I think the biggest thing for me at the moment is figuring out where the fish actually are and then getting the lines out to them. Yeah, I mean, today there's been a hell of a current or a rip just pulling everything across the beach. So I cast out that away, and then within, you know, a couple of minutes the lines are there. So the weights, as far as I can tell, even with a 6-ounce sinker, it's just getting pulled along the beach before it actually gets set. So, you know, it's interesting, but learning. But I mean, hey, really, how can you complain about that? It's ironic, really. I don't actually watch that many sunsets anymore. I don't know why.